Hello, how are we doing this morning? Hilary Freitas, the marketing mom. Glad you're able to join me this morning. So I had to do a redo of a video that I recently did. And this is how to manage your kids at home. Tips for those now work from home parents who are in isolation quarantine because of the COVID-19 pandemic, from a mom who's been a work from home mom for a couple of years, right? Mom of three under 6 years old. All right, we got three under six. So you're probably thinking, how in heaven's name did you do it? Well, the reality is, at some point in time, you do appreciate when they go out to school. You do appreciate that quiet time that you get to actually get more than 2 hours work done a day. And today, what I want to be sharing with you is a couple tips to help you manage your day, your expectations, and how to keep your children busy in a productive manner, and not just putting them in front of Netflix, putting them in front of their screens, etc. There's a time for that. I'm not saying that you totally disconnect them, but I'm saying that you may be thinking, okay, my boss sent me home, I'm still expected to work, and I can't do that if the children are wrong, or if I have to homeschool them, regardless of whatever distant learning has been set up. You, the parents, still have some involvement to play. Some kids, my kids, they can't function a mouse, and not all our computers are touch screens. So you have to be physically there to help them through some of the work. All right. So a couple tips, and the first thing I'm going to run through this is, yes, a replay. So if you've seen a video like this before from me, no problem. I've just redone this, updated it a little bit. And one of the things, the first thing off the bat, is that you want to manage your expectations. If this is your first time you've ever had to try to work from your home, where you don't have a definite space of where you work and all of this, plus you've got kids at home, regardless of what their ages are, the kids are probably not in a routine. All right, and that is, I'm going to address that in another video, which is your work from home schedule during pandemic time. Okay, and this is something that also applies for those, mothers who, or fathers who do homeschooling. Your work from home schedule. All right. I work from home, we manage clients, but I also have the kids, and there's some days when they're home all the time. All right, some weeks, if they're sick or whatever the case may be, they're home, and I have to get my work done. All right. So manage your expectations. The reality is, when your children are home, there are 2 active hours that you're gonna be able to get any work done. 2, and it depends on the ages of your children, and that's 1, morning nap, and 2, the afternoon nap. All right, or what we call quiet time. So there are 2 periods of the day when they would have had some sort of either nap time, quiet time, or whatever in their own schooling environment. Okay, those are going to be your 2 hours, and it's going to be 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and it may be even early afternoon. So what that tells you is that if I could only get 2 hours of work done during the day, when am I going to work? Your work time is actually between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. All right. If your children wake up that late, if your children are like me and go to bed midnight and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, your work time is actually 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then again, after they go to bed, again, my children are very special. They don't always go to bed at the time that I tell them. But what you have to do is get them into the habit of going into their room, go to bed, and my evening work hours are from 9 p.m. to midnight. So you see where we catch up on the hours. All right, and what you will find is that if you keep that sort of routine and schedule, you've got 2 hours in the day, morning and evening, for you to do something. You've got to know what it is you're going to do there. But then your quiet work time is going to be 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then 9 p.m. to midnight, depending on how you're going to work it. What you would find is that those 5 hours of work are probably more hours than you've ever put in your day job. I'm going to be realistic with you. Those 5 hours that you're able to pull out of your day are probably going to be the most amount of work that you've ever done in your day job, because you're interrupted by meetings, you're interrupted by a coffee break, you're interrupted by going to the bathroom, you're interrupted by your neighbor trying to talk to you about what movie they watched last night. Okay, this is why I love working from home. I get to work. All right, and that's why I chose to do that 7 years ago. Anyway, so set your expectations. All right, create a timetable, and I'm actually not going to delve into too much detail here in this video, because having set my timetable for this week, I wanted to, and this is our first week. So at the recording of this video, this is the first week where our country is on lockdown. All right, complete lockdown, only necessary personnel allowed out. So I decided to readjust my schedule for the children. It's also technically the last week of school for this term, and they're going into Easter vacation. So this would have normally been an Easter vacation time where I would have to adjust the schedule anyway. All right, but I'm gonna deal with the timetable in a completely different video, because there are nuances depending on who you are, your work, the type of things that you have to get done. The ages of your children is also very important in terms of setting the timetable. My children are very young children. If you've got teenagers, your timetable may actually allow for a little more work during the day and more constructive work for them during the day. All right, and you also want to schedule free time, outdoor time, activities, all of those type of things. So all of that has to come into your planning. It's not only for your work, but it's also for sorry about that, for your work, but it's also for not just your planning of your day, but it's also for the schedule for your children, to make sure that they stay in a routine. Remember, when they're in school, they're in a routine. They've got this at this time, break at that time, outdoor play, afternoon play, PE. All right, so they've got a schedule, a normal schedule, and you want to make sure that you maintain some semblance of a schedule with them. All right, the other thing that I want to share with you that I mentioned is, be creative with the activities that you're doing. Not every day you're going to go outside in the yard and play baseball, play cricket, play football, whatever the case may be. Be creative. All right, if you want to exercise and you're exercising at home, get the kids involved. Let them hold the bands, let them do something, let them spot you, whatever. Get them involved in the activities that you're doing during the day. All right, bake a cake. All right, bake bread. Do things at home, because guess what, you're stuck there for a while. Okay, chores together. Now, moms like myself, we know that, okay, normally when we send the kids off to school, we've got our chores to do, we've got our work to do, we've got phone calls to make. So we probably have on our timetable, phone calls, follow-up emails, sending out newsletters, fold clothes, wash dishes, then back to work, and then put clothes to wash, and then sweep out the porch. You have your day and your chores. Guess what? You've got extra hands at home, and especially for parents who have kids 7 and up. My 6-year-old swept out and mopped the porch a couple of weeks ago. All right. Yesterday, the dryer went off, and I separated their clothes, and they folded their clothes in their bedroom, because I am not the only one that could do it, and it also teaches them responsibility from a young age. Okay, so if my 4 and 6-year-old could fold clothes, your 16 and 17-year-old can do it too. Give them the pile of clothes to do. And one of the things for adults that I've always been, for adults, we always forget, when I'm doing laundry before kids, right, I would sit down in front of the television and fold clothes, because that's when I was watching television. My television time was when I was folding clothes or ironing clothes. That was my TV time. And you could, whether you want to do that or not, but let them see that chores have to be done. All right, you've got to get them done. Now, if you want to merge entertainment with your chores, like folding clothes, which is a sedentary activity, fine. No problem. But you've got to get it done. And you've got to involve the children in the chores. Get them to wash dishes after breakfast. Get them to wash dishes after lunch. Sweep under the table. Mop out. Exactly. Yes, they can do it. Trust me, they can. If a 6-year-old could do it, anybody could do it. All right? When it comes to the academics. All right, a lot of people are concerned that the children are going to fall behind. There are tons of free resources online. All you have to do is get organized, get resourceful. Okay, there are tons of resources. Pinterest, when I first wanted to homeschool, Pinterest was my source of all homeschooling, everything homeschooling. A lot of organizations, scholastic.com, I believe they've given away a certain number of weeks of free resources that you could do with your children from pre-K, from preschool all the way up to grade 6 or something like that. All right, you just have to know what the conversion for us Trinidadians say. You need to know what that converts to from your child. All right, but I mean, you could figure it out by the activities. Turn it on, and it's all, yes, it's screen time, but it's educational because everything is online now. All right, they also have printables so that you could print out different things, print out activities for them to draw, for them to color, for them to do puzzles, maps. I saw one with maps, so it's really interesting. All right, very interesting. They don't always need to be on a tablet to learn. They could be on paper, molding clay. I'm sure you've got a lot of Play-Doh at home that you've been trying to keep away because you just want your house clean. Well, now is the time to take it out. Okay, so use the free resources. Teach by example. All right, you want your children to get into a routine, you get into a routine. Don't think that, okay, because I'm home, I'm gonna wake up at 8 o'clock. No, if you normally wake up at 5, wake up at 5. Do what your normal routine is. Let them see that. They may wake up a little later because the reality is we put a lot of stress on our children, waking them up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get them to school for 8. All right, and then somehow they're supposed to be attentive. That's an unfortunate thing here in our country. But they could sleep in a little later, but let them still see the routine. I still have to get up, I still have to bathe, I still have to get dressed, I have to have breakfast, and whatever the routine is, whatever the normal routine is, still have them involved in that routine. Work time, play time. All right, lead by example. Don't be the couch potato staying in your pajamas all day. All right, and then thinking about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, oh shucks, I had stuff to do. No, don't be that parent. All right, so I hope these tips have been very helpful to you. If you need more advice, want to connect with me, please do so. Hit the message button on my page. Leave me a comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on my personal profile, just leave a comment. I'll come and find you, or just send me a message. All right, PM me a message. Or, I mean, there are many ways you could get me. All right, visit HillaryDeFreitas.com. All right, so have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.